Hello and welcome back. If you live in the Midwest like I do, then there's probably a bunch of snow around you right now. We just got another big dumping of snow, and since I work in a school, we have another snow day. I already had 2 snow days last week, and then I also had a Martin Luther King Jr. day off. So it's so hard because you want to get into your routine at the start of a new semester and everything because I work in a public school, and then I'm also a grad student right now, and all of these snow days just is throwing off like what this established routine is supposed to be. I'm also not complaining because then it gives me more time to read at the same time. I caught up on a lot of my grad work. I have one more thing that I have to do, but for today, I figured I would bring you along to enjoy a cozy snow day with me. And then this vlog will probably only be one day, but if it ends up being more snow days, then there will be more footage. We'll just do it like that, because why not? We can. The goal of this video then is to finish Brandy Sandy's The Way of Kings. I have 100 pages left in this book. I also have the audio, hence the headphones. These are fantastic. I actually got these for Christmas. Shout out to my sister-in-law. And I use them all the time for listening to audiobooks or anything like while I'm cleaning, working out. The charge lasts forever. Not sponsored, just happy. But I am going to tandem read, so I'm going to put on the audio at a faster tempo and read with my eyes at the same time. That is just a better way for me to soak in the information and knowledge. But I'm hoping to finish this and then take care of a few other things as well as read a different book. So, without further ado, let's jump into the video. Finally finished reading it, and I'm going to set it right here while I talk about the horrible things it did to me. The last 100 pages of this book they're some of my favorite things I've ever read. This fantasy was incredible. You could see things that were set up in the very beginning all coming together, and by the end of the story, I was like, Brandon, I know how you're gonna connect all of these things together. I really enjoyed the complexity of the characters and everything, especially as we learned more about Dalinar's story, especially. Very, very cool. If you don't know anything about the Stormlight Archives, hello, where have you been? This is Brandon Sanderson's adult fantasy series that has every single book being like over 1,000 pages. We're in this world where there is like a war going on, and we're in like the world of like the Shattered Plains. It's part of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, which is really cool, but the main magic system comes down to something called Stormlight, and different people can use powers that are based on Stormlight and everything. It is explained a lot better in the book than I can. If you're interested, you should look it up and read it, but this book is definitely much more like character focused with political intrigue than focusing on like the ins and outs of a magical system. That was my favorite part of the whole book, was that we were so character focused, because you have amazing characters like Kaladin, who's got a complex past as like a soldier and surgeon, and then you have characters like Dalinar who are experiencing like great amnesia to the point where they don't know if they're losing their sanity or not. You have Shallan, which is like, she's very rough around the edges, but at the same time, you can't doubt her intelligence and motivations for a second. And I just love how all the characters kind of wove together nicely. I think that this series is going to be one of those that I recommend to every fantasy lover. It is so, so good, especially the last 100 pages. Oh my gosh, it felt like a movie in my head with the way that things were being described. And while this book took me like, how many months did it take me? I think it took me 6 months to read this entire thing. It was well worth it because every time I did pick up this book to read, I was invested. This was easily a 5-star read, and then I have Words of Radiance on my TBR for this coming year. And after my really positive experience with the last bit of this book, I'm going in much more motivated and excited to do so. So I'm so happy I finished this. Now I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I have been watching a lot of anime lately because I've been, snuggled up at home for quite a few snow days. But one of the anime I've been watching is Yuri on Ice. This anime is like 10 years old and I'm super late to the party, but I was curious nonetheless because it's only like 12 episodes and I feel like it had such a grip on people in like the 2010s. So I want to watch that, especially because the Winter Olympics are coming back around too, and I love watching figure skating. I think it is so fun. Like my like three favorite oddball sports that I love to watch: beach volleyball, figure skating, and oh gosh, and gymnastics. Those are the things that I really, really love to watch. So I am gonna dive back into this. I only have like 2 episodes left of the series. It's very short, easy to get through, and it's just really cute. And then I'm probably gonna have a little bit of lunch. My fiance and I always make like sushi bowls like every couple weeks. So, and it's super easy to make. Like we only get like the imitation crab meat from Aldi, which is like $2.50, $3 pack of rice, and then we like cut up a cucumber and call it a day. It is like the easiest meal, and it's actually like really, really tasty too. And then you can put a bunch of other veggies in it, like I'll do edamame and broccoli, carrots sometimes, just depends what we have. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we are going to prep my planner for the week because I haven't done that. I usually do that on Mondays. Today is a Tuesday, in fact. So I'll go in and do that, but like, look how cute my stickers are. I'm kind of obsessed with it, actually. It's like my favorite planner design I've ever done. So I'll let you guys get a sneak peek in what my weekly setup looks like. And then for other things that we're gonna do today, I have been working on my 2026 reading journal, which is almost all set up, and I have to make some updates, but we're starting to work on some spreads. This is just something I've been doing in my free time and really enjoying. I'll maybe give like a full tour eventually, but it's a work in progress right now. I'm really happy I recreated my bookshelf again like I did last year, and it like turned out even better. I have like these cute little stamps for some of the lettering, but I also like to draw my own lettering a lot too, so that's fun. But I do want to read a little bit more today. I'm just not sure what I want to read. We can kind of go over the options that I have because I've started a few things, and then I also have 2 upcoming book club things. So let me grab those and we'll talk. What I have here, it's just at a camera shot. But I have I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. I am almost halfway through this book already. It's a very short book. Like I think I have maybe 100 pages left. Yeah. So I feel like this one would be pretty easy to read and enjoy. I just think it's okay so far. Like I am enjoying a lot of the themes it explores, but I just have a lot of questions that I still wanted to answer in the amount of time that we have. I have been tabbing it, if you can see. So, like, this is like the perfect book club book, genuinely, because there's so much you could discuss and talk about. And I feel like a lot of the themes are still relevant to today because, dystopian is the new normal, it feels like. Anyways, the other 2 books that at least are on my radar are for book clubs. So for the Sapphic book club that I go to, I haven't gone lately just because I've been really busy with grad school and everything, but I think I can actually make the one in February, and they're reading Sula by Toni Morrison. This book is also pretty short, and I've never read a Toni Morrison book before, and that feels really bad to say. So I want to read this, and then it's me holding myself accountable because I have to go to book club and engage with other people. It's relatively short as well, but I think it'll be really meaningful. I don't know much about this book, but I it takes place in Ohio, it looks like. So I'm like, oh geez, that's on the list. And then the other one is potentially for my fantasy book group, but this one isn't really a fantasy book, but this is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I've been wanting to read this one for a while too, and having a group to keep me accountable would be perfect for this. So I know this one was written like 40 years ago or something. It was written in the 80s, talking about like the time we're living through now, and a lot of people were talking about like climate change, and the main character accidentally starts religion. That's really all I know, and I'm okay with that. I'm ready to go in because like so many people talk about how great this is, how wonderful Octavia E. Butler's writing is. So I'm excited about that, and they're both Black women authors, so we love that. You know, I could just start Words of Radiance as well. I could. I don't know. I feel like I've got a few other things that I need to get to as well. How many pages is Words of Radiance? Hold on. Words of Radiance is 1,080 pages, so almost another 100 pages was added to this book. I cannot even imagine. Oh my gosh. How do you write this much, Mr. Sanderson? I'm not sure which way the wind will blow today, but I'm going to read something and I'll bring you along on the journey. But for now, I've got a little fizzy caffeinated beverage. I am going to finish a grad assignment super quickly. We're going to fill out my planner, and then we're either going to update the reading journal or we're actually going to do some reading. So we'll see what happens. Right, it's been a few days and I need to officially wrap up this video because I did not get another snow day. It did snow a lot. It's still winter, so it's fine whenever this video goes up. Also, shout out to one of my best friends who made this pillow for me, and it's Cal. Is that not the cutest thing? Anyways, wrap up this video. We finished Way of Kings, which was the main thing. And then after that, I actually forgot that I had an arc of Natalie Sue's new book that's coming out this year. So if you don't know, Natalie Sue wrote my favorite book of last year, which was I Hope This Finds You Well. And she has a new book coming out in August this year, which is called You'll Love It Here. And I was fortunate enough to get an arc off of NetGalley. So this was my first time ever getting an ARC too, so I was very excited about it. And I read it on my Kindle. So you'll see me just like scrolling through, but I read the entire thing over the course of a few days. And overall, I really liked it. I think it's a solid beginning and start to it. I do wonder how much has actually changed from what an arc is to what the final product is. And like since I'm not super familiar with arcs, I don't know how much transformation or updates are really made in between. So to put things in perspective, I feel like if I had to give a rating to this book, it would probably land to 3.5 to 4 stars. It had a lot of the same like emotional gut punch type moments that I hope This Finds You Well had. Like you can tell Natalie Sue has her chops in writing really specific, hilarious comedic moments and the gut punch emotional moments where you're like, oh, that's what it feels like to be human. I feel so seen. So that was very strong. However, I do feel like parts of this plot, there was just too much going on. And there was almost like too many things that she was trying to accomplish with this, or like she didn't necessarily need them in order to like tell the story that she was trying to say. Like for example, our this book follows our main character Mona, and she lives in this apartment building that's like in like old historic building, and she works a corporate job. She's a corporate girl, and she gets told to take some time off to grieve the loss of her father, as well as she gets into it with a very large client, and she is told to take the leave, if you know what I mean. So while she takes this time off, her landlady happens to get into an accident because a fire in the building starts, and Mona is left taking over like as interim facilities manager there. And she originally didn't talk to like any of the people that she was living and sharing the space with, but because she's upholding this role, she starts to learn more about the people that she's living with, and they're starting to break the stereotypes and preconceived notions that she had about them. It's a really cute concept, and I really liked a lot of the ideas in it. I especially love when Natalie Sue brings her like Persian heritage into it, but I think that this book was trying to do too many things in different pockets. Like it had really good commentary on like our prejudices, as well as the whole conversation between local businesses and corporate America. Super interesting. All of that stuff was really cool, especially like Mona's perception of work and like how she views work changing over time. I liked all of that. I think this book was a little difficult though, because some of the relationships did feel a little bit rushed at times. I feel like the main character's relationships with her parents were very complex, and I feel like some of it was done well and some of it made me question a little bit more. There's also a hint of romance in this book too, and all of that. So there's just a lot of things going on. And then in the beginning too, like I don't know if I loved the way it was set up, because like we almost didn't need like what happened with Mona in the beginning in order for there was enough like stakes already tied to it, but there was also like this part kind of like shoehorned in that the fire was maybe started because of Mona. And then like I feel like that part could be taken out of the story and it would be almost exactly the same, because the stakes are tied to her working with someone else to make certain things happen with the building. Like I don't know, there were a lot of things where I was like, "Oh, I feel like we could cut this or we could shorten this part." And I feel like the relationships of her with the building people could have been built up just a little bit more. Like I feel as if in Natalie Sue's other book, Jolene and her coworkers had stronger relationships and understanding of each other by the end of it. I did really like Jane's character, and Carmen was kind of funny too. He's a little bit of a curmudgeon guy. Yeah, but there were some good characters. I just feel like I would like to read this book again once it's officially published and out for the public. But overall, I still love Natalie Sue, and I'm so glad I got to read an early edition of the book. If you made it to the end of this video and you spent the snow day with me, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I am tearing through a bunch of books for Black History Month right now, so I'm hoping to talk about those in a wrap up for like January and February. On the docket, I'm reading Sula by Toni Morrison, and I'm about halfway through that. And then I'm dropping things apparently. I also have Parable of the Sower on the list too, as well as, which I'm excited about this one, but I'm also upset because I spilled some of an energy drink on it. But Ring Shout, this one is like a horror with like the Ku Klux Klan. as the Monsters, which sounds interesting. So I'll have some good books lined up for February, but I am happy with how this snow vlog ended up. Please let me know if you enjoy watching vlogs, or like if you like themed vlogs, or I don't know what kind of content people even like. I just make what I want to make, and that's enough for me. But if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for being here. Consider subscribing, leave a comment, and follow me on socials. I'll have everything linked in the description. But that's all I have to say. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!